Welcome to day 2 of the annual Alcohol-Free Lifestyle Wellness Weekend. It's 8:25 a.m. on a Saturday in Austin, Texas, and we're walking with about 15 or so of our clients and participants adjacent to Lady Bird Lake. It's quite brisk, and I'm here with the lovely Julie Ferman, who is a former Project 90 client and is a professional matchmaker, dating coach, and a community builder. How are you, Julie?
I'm great, especially now that I'm here with you, darling, in Austin.
You and I have known each other for about a decade. We met about a decade ago in Los Angeles. How many years have you been in the community building, dating, matchmaking game?
Well, the community building started before the career in matchmaking, but 30 years in matchmaking. But I learned most of what I learned when I was a single girl in Kansas City, and I was lonely. I was so lonely, so I started building my tribe so that I wouldn't sit at home getting depressed and cry. So, should I tell you who I started with?
Yeah, go ahead.
The first one was this unbelievably wonderful girl who lived the life that I wanted to live. She was fit and healthy and happy and loved her church, and just everything about her I loved, and I wanted her to be my friend. And I asked her, I said, "Hey, Suzanne, you're a keeper. I need your phone number." It took a lot of guts to do that, but it was the first time I extended myself in that way. And that girl and I, we are great friends to this day. We built a whole network of people in Kansas City simply by, you're out on a walk, you're talking to somebody, they're nice, and you just ask them that extra little question. So, you know what? My friends and I plan some really great parties. We'll invite you. Give me your phone number and we'll invite you. One person at a time. And we ended up with these singles parties. For 50 people would show up at our singles parties.
Wow.
And we never had a lonely day. And it was because you have to get to that point of where you just say, okay, I'm going to extend myself and say, you're adorable. What's the story with you, pal?
Yeah.
You got to be able to do it.
Yeah. And a lot of our listeners of this particular podcast are flirting with the idea of reducing or quitting alcohol, but a lot of the feedback I get is that folks find it difficult to create a tribe of people where alcohol isn't a necessity for social interaction. And so they're wanting to cultivate and generate new friends, new acquaintances who also either A, don't care for alcohol, or B, it's not a necessity in order to meet up and do something. Have you got any suggestions for how our listeners might create a community like that?
I totally do. When we moved to Santa Fe about 5 or 6 years ago, I wanted to have a new group of friends. And I wanted that group of people to be healthy in mind, body, spirit. And so I would pay attention. And there was this one gal, Emily, who was kind of like Suzanne for me in Santa Fe. She was professional, beautiful, positive, spiritual, lived a life of dignity, I would say, and authenticity. And I noticed when I would go out with her, she didn't order a drink. Pretty much any time, like even if we went out with people to go dancing or something, she wouldn't order a drink. I'm like, okay, she's one of my people. And I just started initiating more stuff with her, and then she introduced me to some of her friends. You just got to be the one to initiate. Look for people who are living admirable lives. And if they are, they're probably kind. And you can actually say to them, I'm having fun building a whole new social network of people who don't spend their evenings pounding 4 margaritas. Maybe you and I can go take a walk sometime or have lunch together, or let's meet up for coffee. Let's go for a hike. Especially activities. Find people who love to do the outside stuff that you like, or a workout buddy at the gym. Start there. And just ask, hey, can I jump in on your next hike? I'm looking to meet some new great people, and I just love your energy. Is that so hard?
It's not hard, but it's mentally challenging. It feels mentally challenging sometimes for people. There's resistance around that, isn't there? But look at us right now. We're walking. I'll have you describe the scene, actually. Who have we got behind us?
Oh, my gosh. I walked into this room yesterday. I didn't know anybody except for James and Kevin. That was it.
Yeah.
And within about 15 minutes, I could see that these are my people. And so what we've got here on this trail is people who were total strangers yesterday morning, And now we see each other in the lobby of the hotel and we're like, hey, how you doing? Tell me more about New York, or tell me what's going on in your neck of the woods in Florida. We have something in common. And whether that thing in common is living a life with something bigger going on than just drinking alcohol, or whether it's about, I want to be more fit and I want to be like these people who are out here running in the morning. I want to be one of those people.
Yeah.
How you do that,
Yes.
you found one of those people who lives their life like that, and you get the courage to say, I'm kind of afraid to ask you this, but can I join you for one of those hikes that you do?
Yeah.
And usually they're going to say yes.
Or, hey, would you like to come on a hike with me? Because here's the thing. Think about if you're trying to reduce or quit alcohol and all your friends drink alcohol, suggesting a morning hike. We started at 7:30 this morning from the lobby of the Hyatt Regency Hotel where we're having our event. Nobody's drinking at 7:30 in the morning. And if they are, well, I don't think that I'm really they're going to be my people, quite frankly, if they're drinking at 7:30 in the morning. But when you suggest a meetup on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning starting at 7 or 7:30, you know that alcohol's not going to be involved, right?
That's right.
And so that's going to be a very different energy. And so what you could do is look in your neighborhood, look in your city and find a hike, a trail, and then invite people to come and meet you and do a 7 a.m., a 7:30 hike on a Saturday or a Sunday. And the people who say yes to that,
they're your people.
They're your people, and they're more likely to be people who don't rely on alcohol. Now, it's not a guarantee, of course, but I would think that people who would accept an invitation to go on a Saturday, Sunday morning hike at 7:30 are going to be more health conscious, going to be more sort of conscious in their communication. They're going to be more possibly into self-development. And even if they're not, maybe they've been wanting to make a change, but just haven't been able to get an invitation that you're now extending.
And also take full advantage of the Meetup organization, wherever you are. If you're in the US, or I think it's up in Canada too, I don't know about Australia, but Meetup is an incredible organization. You just go on there and find people who love to do what you love to do, and you just show up by yourself. Now there's a little trick here. You need to have a calling card. We talked about this yesterday, especially ladies. We don't want to give out our business card. We don't know who this person is. Could be a bad guy. But if you have a calling card, it has a sweet, smiling picture of your beautiful face and a cell number that might be your real number, or it might be disguised through a service like Burner. A lot of my clients are using Burner, so that they can't Google you and find out the value of your home or where you live or where you work. And that gives you the opportunity to be a little bit more comfortable. Hey, James, it was so fun to meet you today. Here's how to find me. And then I give you my card. And then if I'm really courageous, I'll say, how will I ever find you again? And then I give you the little twinkle in my eye, and you're going to give me your card. And then here's the other important part. When you get back to your desk, or when you get in your car and you're on your cell phone, you send that person a sweet text message. James, you were the highlight of my morning. You are just my kind of person. You're what I call a keeper. Will you please include me next time you're doing a group of people, a hike or something like that? Would you invite me?
I love that.
I bet you would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the first time you do it, you're going to trip over your tongue. And it's going to feel like you're desperate, you're lonely, you need friends, you're a loser. So what? I don't care. I was that person. And I learned how to, little by little, get more confident. And the secret is really simple. When you're engaging with people out there in the world, especially when you notice that you're self-conscious, like, oh gosh, just notice your thoughts and what you're thinking. Half the time, it's a self-critical thought that we're thinking. Notice it, laugh at it, let it go, and shift your energy into give mode, into contribution mode. And the simplest way to do it, I find, is to challenge yourself to bring smiles to faces of strangers out there in the world. Just what can you do? How can you smile at them, make a nice comment? Flirting, it's all about flirting. Flirting has three components. It's either you can make a comment. Man, isn't it great to see the sun out today? Just run into the sky. Look at the sun. It's gorgeous. That's a comment. There's a question. Hey, I love your hat. Where'd you get that hat? Or there's a compliment. You are the just most bright, shining spirit I've run into all week. What's your secret? You can say these things to total strangers out there in the world. And if your energy is on contributing to their lives, brightening their day, the energy is not in self-consciousness. It's a practice. So I challenge each one of you today, in your day, wherever you are, even if you're just driving in your car and you're at a stoplight, and there's a person next to you, and you get that moment of eye contact. Can you just smile at that person and see if you get a smile back? If you've never done it, it's magic, folks. Just be a little sprite and contribute little bits of sunshine to everybody that you come upon, knowing that some days you're not going to want to do it. Some days we just want to have like quiet interior space. And that's fine. You guys all went out and ate barbecue last night.
Yeah.
I was full. I needed no more social interaction.
Yeah.
So I took myself to dinner downstairs and listened to the lady playing the guitar. And know that there are times that that's all you're going to do, and that's great. But don't let that be all that you do. Beautiful.
Julie, thank you so much. What's your website so our listener can find out more about you?
It's julieferman.com. That's Ferman. And anybody, anywhere in the world, I don't know about Mars or Jupiter, but anywhere in this world where people have a computer, they can register with me. It's private, nobody browses, and it's free. So just register with me. And if you are one of James' people, if you're in James Swanwick's tribe, I give you an invitation to register with me. You let me know that you came from James, and I'll schedule a free 30-minute call with you. And I'll find out all about who you are and the type of person you'd love to meet. That's if you're single. If you're married, then you just be good to that person, okay? So that's my invitation.
All right. Thank you. That's very generous of you. Thank you so much, Julie. Thanks for coming on our morning walk and your outstanding talk, to our conference attendees yesterday. And to you, the listener, thank you so much for listening. We're just walking over a little bridge here. What time is it? It's 8:37 a.m. The sun is shining through the trees. We're about to kind of walk into a part of the path here I guess it's like a dirt trail, isn't it? Where the sun is going to be fully shining on all of our faces, getting that morning sunlight. So just trying to paint a picture there for you. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I want to load you up with some free stuff. If you look in the show description, there's a link there to get my guide, which is the Alcohol Freedom Formula Guide. And in that guide, I will walk you through the process and system for successfully reducing or quitting alcohol. It's the same system and process that I give to my clients inside of Project 90. And if you would like to get your hands on that guide, you can click the link in the description part of this episode, or you can go to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/guide. Likewise, if you would like to be considered for Project 90 to join our community and get some accountability, some coaching, and have fun, achieve some goals over at least 90 days with our help and support, then you're invited to schedule a complimentary coaching call with one of my coaches. You can do that by clicking the link in the show description or going to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/schedule. Now, Project 90 is for over 30s only, and it's really for people who are ready to get long-term power over alcohol. You don't have to quit forever, but you will have to quit for at least 90 days with our support. Just a reminder, 95% of my content is free and plastered all over the internet. If you just Google James Swanwick and the word alcohol, you'll find that. For those of you who want additional support, if you want coaching, fun, accountability, if you realize that you can't do this on your own or you just plain don't want to, then I invite you to schedule that call and we can talk about if Project 90 is for you. If you would like to take some of my supplements, swanvitality.com is the website. I'll put a link in the show notes as well. I have a liver support product called Loving Liver, which I designed and specially formulated to help remove toxins from your liver after years of alcohol consumption. Again, there's a link in the show description. We've also got a green powder there, which turns into a green juice filled with amazing ingredients to support you and give you energy throughout the day. And there's also a magnesium product which I take every night to help me prepare for sleep and to sleep through the night. So there's a few options there. Lastly, if this episode or the show in general has helped you or supported you in any way, I would so appreciate it if you would write a review. It really does help the show climb the rankings and expose the show to people who don't yet know about us. So if this show has benefited you in any way and you feel compelled to pay it forward, just writing a short little review, hopefully a nice one, will be so appreciated, and I will thank you immensely. Lastly, if you'd like to talk to me about anything at all, feel free to send me an email at james@alcoholfreelifestyle.com. I do read and respond to every email. And you can also follow me on Instagram at @JamesSwanwick. Send me a message there. And I look forward to connecting with you soon. Catch you on the next one.